So last week, the Piacazna Rebbe told us that in order to really uplift yourself by studying Torah, you have to immerse yourself in what he calls the mikveh of Hashem, the ritual bath of Hashem.
Right.
So just studying Torah with a dry intellect, according to Zohar, that tells us that a person who just studies Torah with his dry intellect alone is as if they should lose their portion in the world to come, God forbid. And he demands that a person who jumps into the Torah, who penetrates beyond the superficial outer layer of the Torah, that is the person who will become purified and therefore see success in their Torah study and to learn more and more. So today he's continuing and he says, Hen emet, it's true. שבשעה שאתה לומד התורה קשה לך לעורר את נפשך במחשבות עילאיות. It's very difficult when you're in the middle of studying Torah to uplift your soul. It's a hard thing that during Torah study to be able to reach a level where you uplift your soul. מוכרח אתה להעמיק בה בראשך וכל עצמך לעבוד עבודה קשה המתשת את הכוח. Because in order to do so, you'd have to devote so much energy, both mental energy and physical energy, to delve into the Torah in a way that says, a Torah, page 178, that mateshet the koach, it literally will make you weak. It'll wipe you out. It's hard. You're in the middle of studying about the laws of Shabbat. Why 3 tea bags, 3 cups of water, 1 tea bag, who puts the water? You put the sugar first, then the water. It's hard in the middle of all of that to find this like godly inspiration of Hashem inside of it. And therefore says the Piacazna Rebbe, אבל עורר את נפשך טרם שתבוא ללמוד. Awaken your soul before you begin studying. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until you're in the middle of studying to try to awaken yourself. Start beforehand. Prepare yourself beforehand. גלה אותה וקשרה בהשם. Reveal it. Connect it to Hashem. ואז כשתבוא ללמוד תורה, then when you come to study Torah, אתה תעבוד בפשט השכל הפשוט. Then while you're studying and your mind is focusing just on the words that you're reading, הנפש הגלויה שלך תרוץ ותחדור דרך הלבוש של מלכה וכהונה, אשר בה ותתאחד עמו יתברך. Your now activated soul will take off and penetrate the outer layer towards its king, its creator, who is with inside of it, and unify itself with him.
That's a lot.
It's pretty heavy stuff here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to purport to be a Kabbalist now. But you're right, those words that you read can really get you stuck in a very intellectual place. And says the Piacazna Rebbe that sometimes before you start studying, you have to connect your neshama. I don't know what it is, if it's singing, if it's studying something that uplifts your neshama, and then going to study halacha or gemara or mishnah or whatever it is you need to read. But then what can happen is that even though your mind is focused on something, your neshama has already penetrated beyond that outer layer, and you're connecting to Hashem, even while you're studying things that otherwise would be not so inspirational to you. I can say that my chet, I have the other problem. When it comes to learning halacha or learning things like that, I love it. So when people start to speak to me about Kabbalah, things like that, my brain turns off, my neshama turns off, my whole body turns off. So I have the opposite problem that other people have. So I don't know what you're supposed to do. Maybe before you study spiritual things, to do like gymnastics. I don't know what the remedy for my soul is, but I see most people have this problem. So I guess that's the... אבל הדבר הזה לא טוב הוא. But you should know that it's not a very good thing. מה שגם הנפש שלך שבה אתה רוצה להתעלות ולהתקרב, נעלמה ממך. It's not such a good thing that the soul that you're trying to uplift is actually hidden from you. Where's your soul? How's your soul? How do you connect to your soul? You're trying to uplift your soul so that you connect to Hashem. But your soul is so far removed from you that it's not so easy to do this. Because before you even connect yourself to Hashem, you first have to connect yourself to your soul. So how do you find your soul in order to connect it to Hashem? מוסתרת, on page 180. He begufcha, your soul is hidden inside of your physical body. V'yeshena hi begashmiutcha, and it is actually sleeping within your physicality. V'im lo takit ota mishnat olam, and if you don't wake up your soul from its eternal slumber, ולא תגלה אותה מן מחצלת הקנים אשר היא קבורה בה. And you don't reveal it from the literal translation is a reed mat that it's wrapped in. Like a burial shroud. People didn't have enough money to be buried in something very simple. If you're not able to awaken your soul from the burial shroud in which it's buried, how will you reach spiritual heights? How will you become closer to Hashem if all you are is a physical body with a soul that is sleeping? What does it say in Shir HaShirim? I'm sleeping, but my heart is awake. Kol dodi dofek, the voice of my beloved is knocking. The status of a Jew in exile, we're actually physically sleeping. On a national level, we're sleeping. Our souls are awake. But what can we do with our soul if our body is sleeping? Our heart wants to open the door for the Hashem that's knocking, but we just can't get out of bed. We have some kind of physical paralysis. Here's the opposite. Most of us experience a very awake physical body, but a very dormant, sleeping, slumbering, buried soul. So we're asking you to uplift your soul, to connect to Hashem, but my soul is sleeping. So what am I supposed to do with that? There's a famous rabbi, Rabbi Yonatan Halevy. He's one of the giants of Ashkenaz. His great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter is my wife. Rabbi Yonatan Halevy, was a very sharp rabbi. Everything he said was sharp. He was a very spicy kind of guy. And when he was a little kid, he was very famous for the lines that he would say that were far beyond his years. One morning, it's the middle of winter, somewhere in Europe, I don't know exactly where he lived. They came to wake him up. His father said, Yonatan, wake up, it's time to go to synagogue. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. Imagine the weather is like Siberia. You don't want to get out of bed. I mean, forget snow. It's not snow. This is like the whole world is frozen. Even the snow is frozen. And he says, Abba, I don't want to wake up. Let me sleep. I'm tired. It's cold. This father says, Yonatan, look at you. You should learn from your Yetzer Hara, from your evil inclination. I said, what? It's too early for a morning philosophy. What should I learn from my evil inclination? He says, look how early in the morning your evil inclination wakes up in order to keep you in bed. He says, Dad, but you forgot one thing. My Yetzer Hara, my evil inclination, doesn't have an evil inclination that keeps him in bed in the morning. That's why he's able to get up so early. Sometimes your neshama is sleeping. And the only thing that's awake is your Yetzer Hara. It's like, why can't both of them at least be awake? Why only one of them is awake? Yeah. Why is my body so awake? I wouldn't mind if we're all numb, but I'm so awake, my neshama is sleeping. Aval dana, but you have to know, please. שהקיצת נפש הקדושה לא כקיצת גוף הישן היא. Know that waking up a holy soul is not at all the same as waking up a sleeping body. How do you wake up a person?
Shake him.
Yeah, you shake him, you clap, you make some noise, you scream, whatever. How do they wake you up? Alarm clocks.
Yeah.
Roommates. That was 1 week in the yeshiva.
Real torturous in the army did it by banging on the trash cans, the metal ones.
So my yeshiva, they would bang
noise.
on the doors with brooms and the sticks. They would bang, bang, bang. Okay. And then when I was... okay, I can't tell you this stuff. But when I was in yeshiva, there was one guy who used to wake us up. He didn't know our names. It was in Israel. And he used to come around and knock on our doors, and he would say, there's a few of us in the rooms, but he wouldn't know anybody's name. Poor guy. His job was just he had a thing of keys. He would whack them on the door in the morning to wake you up. He would literally go through the dorms, and he would bang. So my roommate, Josh Gerstein, he would say, Kohen, wake up! Smack. His name is not Kohen, his name is Josh Gerstein, but he knows he's a Kohen, so he's screaming. He goes to the next door, Chabadnik! You a Chabadnik guy, wake up! There's the next one, Shochet! He's a ritual starter, wake up! By the time he finished, we were all already awake, going to Shachri. It was very easy to wake up a person's physical body. It's not so hard. אבל את הנפש, but the soul, רק בהתמדת העבודה שמכריחים אותה לעבוד יכולים מהקיץ. The body can be woken up all at once, but the soul can only be awakened when it is forced to exert itself through diligent, persistent effort and avodat.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen at once. It happens slowly. Consistency. Diligence. Over and over and over again. Discipline. The neshama wakes up. Let's imagine if your alarm clock rings and you press snooze, you go back to sleep.
Yeah.
But if somebody calls you, what do they tell you? Hey, why are you late to work? Or you'll get woken up from a text message and it says something about your bank account or something about who knows what it comes to tell you. It's harder to go to sleep after that because you had to think. You had to turn on your brain. The neshama doesn't just get startled awake. It has to actually be forced to work. For your neshama to wake up, you have to consistently make it work. And then your neshama stays awake. A person can do all kinds of mitzvot with his hands. With all of his body parts. With his mouth to pray. He said his soul is not only sleeping, it already passed out, it fainted. You could use your body to do a mitzvah, but it's not enough. You have to force your soul to work, and then it will be able to awaken and reveal itself. It's almost like if you don't use it, you lose it. In the Neshama, you have to constantly keep it working. You think, I'll take a break. How many of us have been studying Torah? We'll say, you know what, I have to clear my head a little bit. Let me go drink something. Let me go eat something. Let me go call someone. And then you come back to your book. If you're even lucky, most people don't make it back to the book. You come back to your book, and you can't get back into what you're studying.
Yeah.
Because you turn off your neshama for a minute. And turning off your neshama for a minute is the hardest thing, because now you have to reignite it with what?
Especially if you're always around people that are not they don't live like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You know what I see this? We don't have a rule in the synagogue, no cell phones. I was in the synagogue in, I don't remember where, one of the religious communities, not in San Diego. They have these special lockers. Every congregant has his own locker. It's like the size of a phone. It's a little box. It's a whole wall of lockers, and inside there's a charger for an Android, for an Apple. And you're expected before you come to the synagogue, you put your phone in, you charge it, you lock the thing, and you leave it there till after services. That way, why? Because you see people, Bob Shama, oh look, my neighbor sent me a picture of his cat on WhatsApp. You put it down, and then you look, oh look, Facebook, there's somebody liked my picture of last night's dinner. And I see people, just the whole tefillah, it's like this, it's a sound. And then, if you're not, let's say you don't want to look, it goes, bzz, bzz, the whole time it's buzzing at you. And it's distracting, because every time your neshama is just about to get turned on, it gets turned off from something. And I'm speaking to myself also, we all have this problem. You see people on Shabbat?
Different, totally different.
Almost, but Friday night, what do I still see people? They have a problem. They do this all the time. They're sitting in tefillah and they go, what is that?
Turn it off.
They feel like their cell phone is buzzing in their pocket.
Turn it
I don't know, something they rubbed against the chair. Oh, maybe it's my phone. You see, I watch. Do what I do. Watch people. They keep checking their pocket. They want to make sure, is it buzzing? Is it? Oh, you forgot, you don't have a phone on you now. But they still check it. I mean, even after their phone is off, and it's in its drawer, and they're still checking their phone. I had a student in Israel. I have a student in Israel who he had some serious delinquency issues. We threatened him, if this happens again and again and again, after 3 times, we're taking away your laptop for 24 hours. Wow. Now this guy had his laptop. What was his problem? He would leave class every 30 minutes and it was about a 7-minute walk to the dorms, check his email, his Facebook, and then come back to class.
Oh.
And then 30 minutes later, it was like a clock. You could check. It would go and come back. And then he would go and he would come back. So every class he left. And he's not the prime minister. So not like, if you don't check your email for 2 hours, what's going to happen?
Okay.
So he told us he has FOMO, fear of missing out. He's afraid something is going to happen with his friends, and this was a few years ago, so I guess Facebook was the thing then. Something might happen, and he won't know about it until an hour later. No, but really it was like a crushing experience for him. So he had he had to go check. So once, twice, 3 times we took away his laptop for 24 hours. We took it away. You've never seen a person like this in your life. I 10 minutes in had like a rachmanut to him. I didn't give it to him. 24 hours. We locked the laptop in the Rosh Hashiva's office.
I bet he's stressing.
24 hours, this boy didn't sleep. He's pacing back and forth in front of the door of the... Maybe someone's gonna open the door, maybe he can sneak into his laptop. Maybe someone's this, maybe they're gonna let it out early, maybe someone's gonna touch it. He didn't leave. It was a glass door. Back and forth, back and forth. Shacharit, Mincha, Arvit. The next morning he got back his laptop. It was like a person got back an oxygen tank.
I'm really addicted to it.
Yeah, but he's not like a weird person. He's not a problem child. He's just a product of the world today. That's what we're studying on Rabbeinu Avraham and Rambam. You're allowed to have things. You know, someone gave me a gift recently of this iPad. The moment I'm going to get back this gift is when one day I forget it at home and I'm going to freak out that I didn't bring it. It's like, no, it's too much already. I didn't need it. So someone gave it to me so I could use it for something. Good. But if I now need it, once you become dependent on something, it's no longer a luxury. It now becomes a necessity. And the more necessities you add into your life, the more difficult it is to be happy in your life. But people are trying. They're trying to study. They're trying to learn. They're trying. But they can't. There's this idea to pray. You don't have a siddur on their phone. I'm against it. Okay, so you're stuck in the middle of the desert. You don't have a phone. Use your phone. But you're in the Bet Knesset. There's 300 siddurim. There's Ashkenazi ones, Sephardic ones, Chabad ones, Hasidic ones. Take a siddur and learn from it. Pray from it. Because what happens when you're on your phone, it's like when you let kids, I was substituting at one of the schools here, and all the kids had to have laptops. Why? Because for some reason, you have to study Gemara today with the PowerPoint. You can't do it anymore from a book. These kids, if you give them a Gemara, they don't know which direction to open up a Gemara. They only know it's on their screen. They have a PowerPoint. But you think everyone's on the same PowerPoint at the same time? Solitaire never became so exciting. You know that pinball game? They have nothing was edited from those graphics since Windows 95. The same ping pong game. Everybody, if you walk behind the desk, everybody's on some kind of game on their computer. But it's not their fault. You put inside of them, you put a screen in front of them. This screen is not just a book. The screen has all kinds of things in it. You have a siddur, it's on your phone, but it doesn't stop you from getting email notifications and text messages and phone calls. And so it's not really a siddur. It's a siddur with like built-in distractions. So it's better just use a real siddur. You'll never be holding a siddur here, and it'll go ming, and something will pop up on your siddur. Nothing will ever happen like that. It's important. Why do I say it's important? Because people don't realize they get so frustrated that they're not having a spiritual experience. People complain about it all the time. My tefillah, it's not. I wish my tefillah on Tuesday felt like tefillah on Shabbat morning. There's a big difference between tefillah on Tuesday and tefillah on Shabbat morning. On Shabbat morning, you have nowhere to go. You have no phone on you. You're not running around to check emails and to work can't find you. You pray differently than you pray on a Tuesday morning.
So the idea to feed your soul is to keep focused on Torah study or
consistency. You know the example that I'll give for this. When you want to turn on the water in your sink, how do you turn it on?
Walk over to it, put your hand on it,
turn it on, and water comes out.
Yeah.
I was up in the Catskills in New York, in the mountains over there. I was somebody's house, and I came to this house, and all the faucets were flowing with water, all of them. You have a serious leak problem in your house. The bathtub is flowing, the faucet in the kitchen is flowing, the faucet in the bathroom is flowing. And he laughs and says, "Oh, you Californians, you don't know anything." He said, "We leave this house over here for the winter. And in order so the pipes don't freeze and explode, you have to leave water constantly flowing." I mean, part of owning a house there is paying the water bill for the water that runs through your faucets the whole winter. Because somehow, if that water is running through the faucet the whole winter, it doesn't freeze.
Right.
Yeah.
That's an incredible thought. Essentially, that's in your Shema, the same thing. It doesn't have to be on full blast all the time. That's too much to ask. But if you want your faucets not to freeze over and then explode, you have to leave it on, at least dripping a little bit. That's what the Piacazna Rebbe is trying to say. Every day, even the times that you're not studying Torah, we should remember that you are a servant of Hashem. It's your job to connect to Him. So even when you're not doing things that are innately spiritual, connect to Hashem nonetheless. Strengthen your emunah, your faith in Hashem. Chashov kama pamim b'yom. Remind yourself a few times a day. Ani ma'amin b'Hashem yitbarach b'emet u'v'lev shalem. I believe in Hashem with truth and a sincere heart. Aviu Malki, my father, my king. Barur li shata Adon haolam. I am so clear that you are the creator of the world, the master of the world. Asher barat et kol ha'olamot v'chol asher behem. You created all of the world and everything inside of it. HaMalachim b'Shamayim, the angels in heaven. Afa briot aktanot asher mitachat ha'aretz, and even the smallest creatures that are in the ground. Worms, ants. V'ata makif oti, and you surround me. U'memaleh et gufi v'ruchi, and you are inside of me. Avdechani, I am your servant. Ulecha kol atzmi masur, and my entire being is dedicated to you. Hafoch v'hafoch b'machshava zo dechul haba. Keep thinking this your whole day, because this is everything. If you would write down this little tefillah and keep it in your wallet. Yeah, there's that tefillah. I'm actually going to take out my phone. Don't get upset. The tefillah says, okay. The chief Sephardic rabbi of Israel, Rabbi Yonatan Halevy, he passed away when I was in Israel. When he passed away, we found in his wallet a little handwritten prayer that he wrote. It was in his pocket the day he died. That he would say every single day. He was a chief rabbi. He was also a judge on a rabbinic court. That dealt with divorce, that dealt with finances, that dealt with all kinds of things. With conversion. It was a bidin, not like any major bidin. This little prayer. I'll show it to you.
That's it?
We found it scribbled in his pocket.
That's in his own handwriting.
The prayer says, Ribono shel Olam, Master of the world, Galui v'yadua lefanecha, it's revealed and it's known before you, Shelo al da'ati amati lesharet am kdoshecha ladun l'orot. That I didn't decide on my own that it's my job to become a judge over the Jewish people. Yadati mi'ut erki. I know my little value. Mach shebarach, I'm the lowest of the low. Lo bikashni flot mimeni, I never asked for things that were greater than me. Ach kach horudi rabotai. But my rabbis asked for me to sit as a judge on a bidin. It wasn't a choice I made because I felt that I was worthy for it. וכך גלגלת כל הגלגולים וסיבבת כל הסיבות הקיימות מעפר דן. He said, and you have orchestrated everything that I should reach this place today where I am clearly as the chief rabbi at this point. ותעש לי שם כשם הגדולים, and you've created for me a name like the famous rabbis of the past. He's aware that even though he feels that he's nothing, Hashem has caused it, that he has been considered as a great rabbi. גזרה חוכמתו יתברך ויתעלה שמו לשרת עם קודש לראות ולדון. And Hashem, your heavenly wisdom has decreed on me that I should judge the Jewish people. ועל הכל יתברך שמו ויתעלה, and everything is for the praise of Hashem's name. אך רעדה חזתני, but I am overcome with trembling. יראה ורעד יבוא בי, fear and shivering has overcome me. על הסכנה הנוראה העומדת עליי, of the danger, the grave danger that I place myself in. Ufi tehom ha'pa'ur l'negdir, and that opening of hell that is right in front of me. Ki ba'ar ani v'lo yeda. I am an ignoramus and I know nothing. Al ken zachalti v'yira, so I crawl like a worm and I am afraid. Ana efnei le'ezra. Where can I turn for help and where can I run to? I place my trust in your extreme compassion. And I pour my supplications before you, because you are the one who hears prayer. Please, Hashem, the God of all the winds, have compassion and kindness towards all those who sit in the chairs of judgment. U'ifrat alai, especially me, ani avdecha ben amatecha, your slave, the son of your maidservant, Mordechai ben Mazal, Mordechai the son of Mazal. Rechem alai, have compassion on me. V'ten li lev shomea, give me a heart that can hear people. V'dat lavin, and also the proper perspective to judge people, perception. Lishpot et amecha, to judge your people. Chonenu chuchma bina dat v'askel, give us wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Shelo nomar al ta'u tameh v'al tameh tahor, so we shouldn't purify that which is impure and impurify that which is pure. Al mutar asur v'al asur mutar, we should never say that which is permitted is prohibited and vice versa. Al zakai chayav v'al chayav zakai, we should never say that one who's innocent is guilty or that one who's guilty is innocent. V'tatzilenu mikol shgiot v'taoyot, and save us from all mistakes. V'yeh libi chazak v'eitan lochiach kol osei aval, and give me strength in my heart that I shouldn't be afraid to rebuke all those who do things that are incorrect. La'atzil ashuk miyad oshko, help me save an oppressed person from the hand of their oppressor. V'al yasienu yitzarenu la'alim ayin chas v'shalom, and don't allow our yetzer hara to look the other way when people are suffering, God forbid. U'tzaken ligdo pirtzot, allow me to fix all the breaches and the fences of our faith. Ulatkin takanot, and to make new decrees for the Jewish people. Ularbitz Torah, to spread the Torah. V'yashem shamayim mitkadesh le'edenu, may your name only be sanctified through us. V'tei matenu muteret al briot, and allow our fear, our awe, to be on top of people. Allow people to fear us. V'avatenu chakura b'libam, but allow also their love for us to be engraved in their hearts. Meaning, they should have fear of authority, but to also realize that we love them. And we should be able to distance ourselves from ego, from arrogance, from anger, and from all strictness. This sentence should be put in any Jewish organization's office. And give us the strength to put up with your nation, to tolerate them. Gal enai, reveal my eyes, and allow me to see the wonders of your Torah. And that's how he ends off his prayer in this book. They say he would say this at least every day before he sat on the bed.
Why does he call himself something like a worm? It doesn't sound like modesty. It sounds like...
Who called himself a worm? Who else? David Amelech. King David calls himself a worm. You know, when you're talking to Hashem, you could be the greatest rabbi in the whole world. Compared to Hashem, what am I? I mean, me compared to him, who knows? But me compared to Hashem, how can I have any arrogance in front of Hashem, any pride? What am I proud of? What do I do that Hashem doesn't do? What can I know that Hashem doesn't know? So when speaking with Hashem, it's okay to say, Hashem, compared to you, I'm nothing. So you put me in this place, so at least allow me to do my job properly. Allow people to fear me, but also to love me, and allow me not to become arrogant. It's a prayer. He has to constantly remind himself, Hashem, it's not something I wanted to do. It's clearly something that you wanted me to do, I wouldn't be doing it. What I mean to say is, when you read from the Piacazna Rebbe, and you see that he's writing a prayer, you can copy down his prayer and say it too. Or you can write your own prayers. It's a famous halachic argument. Whether in the middle of the Amidah, of the Shemona Esrei silent prayer, if you're allowed to interrupt and compose your own prayers in the middle of it. There's two opinions. Some say yes, some say no. When I asked the Rabbi, what's your opinion? He said to the contrary. If a person prays the Amidah, but they don't write their own words in there, they don't add their own prayers in there, I'm not sure they actually pray.
Ooh, I like that.
You know, you're reading from a book. It's like a joke in front of Hashem. It's a rehearsal. It's the same play. It's the same. What?
There was the rabbi who used to stop the mudim to actually acknowledge what he's.
To give thanks for what
he's
sure.
giving thanks for.
Not to be afraid. Obviously, the prayers we say in public, we have to say them the same. If we all start editing the prayers, but at least the ones we say on our own, you're going to be doing now in a few days. Hashem, tonight we're going to do it. But Hashem, I stole, I robbed, I cheated, I lied. There's some things you didn't do. But there's some things on that list that are relevant to you, and there's some things that are not on that list that you did do. Nobody's listening. It's not a priest. You don't have to confess to anybody. But to Hashem, what are you hiding? Why are you not afraid to add your own? You know, the Sephardic Nosach says, Tziarnu Aveim. We made our parents, our fathers and mothers, we made them suffer. Is there anybody in the world who could tell them we made our parents proud of us? Everybody has this problem. In the Ashkenazi Slichot, only on Yom Kippur, there's a prayer, Tziarnu Hoyrim v'Moyrim. Our teachers and our parents, also our teachers, those who try to educate us, those who try to put us on the good path, we made their lives miserable. When's the last time you had a chance to say you're sorry to your 6th grade teacher, your 8th grade teacher, your high school teacher? It's time. It's a good time before Yom Kippur to call. It's also a good time to say, Hashem, I'm sorry. To make up your own tefillah. Don't be so afraid. That Sheikh Knesset Gdolah gave us guidelines. These are the prayers that you have to say. You don't just do what you have to do. It's like you ask your wife, what do you want for your birthday? You ask me what I want? I want whatever you're going to get me. You know, just tell me what you want. I don't have time to think about you. Just let me know what I need to do. It's the best way to fight with your spouse. I mean, it's better probably not to buy a gift at all. Than to say, like, I don't have time to think about your birthday gift. Tell me what to buy you. It's like, Hashem, I don't have time to think about what I need to pray to you about. So just let me read to you what these guys wrote in a book. And then 2 days later, let me complain to my rabbi or whoever. I hate this prayer book. I don't understand a word. What's going on here? And then, so that's even worse. Now you prayed in the prayer book, and you went to tell somebody else you hate what you're doing in the prayer book. What kind of respect, HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Don't be afraid. There's a world of Jews that have been taught to be afraid. Afraid to compose. Be afraid to write. Be afraid to talk to Hashem in your own words. Be afraid to analyze the mitzvot with your own intellect. Be afraid. Be afraid. Be afraid. It's not one of the 10 commandments. It's not one of the, be afraid. It's not a commandment. Yeah, have awe of Hashem. It's not a buddy. We don't go drinking together. But it's a relationship. Have that relationship. Say, Hashem, I want to speak to you like I would speak to my parents. Like I speak to my teacher. Like I speak to whoever else in my life. That's our job. And I think when it comes to this high holiday season, to make sure that half of our spiritual accomplishments are not just waking our neshama, but keeping our neshama awake. And how do we keep our neshama awake? Even in the times that we're not officially praying, we're not officially learning, to still be talking to Hashem. Mumble around. There's a famous Breslov rabbi. Rabbi Yonatan Breslov was famous for you have to go do it, go out into the field and talk to Hashem. And there's once a famous Breslov rabbi who was walking with his rabbi, and he said, "One second." And he ran to the phone booth, and he started talking to Hashem. And he came back. The rabbi said, it's a very holy level that in the middle of the street you want to go talk to Hashem, so you talk to him. It would be even holier if you didn't think you had to hide behind the phone booth. He says, look crazy, who cares? Let people look at you crazy that you talk to Hashem. So what? Let the world laugh at you. Because this high holidays, have a relationship with Hashem. Who cares what the world says about you? People tell you, I don't like the relationship you have with your husband, with your wife, with your... Say, listen, you don't get involved. I have a relationship. You can do whatever you want, but this works for me. Say it. You don't like the way I connect to Hashem? That's fine, but at least I have a connection to Hashem. Let me have it. It's a relationship. Just like I understand, He understands me. Hashem should give us a happy and sweet New Year.